Alright, so today we're going to talk a little bit about flowers. Now this here is a purple thistle. You can see the pollinators like it. There's a little yellow moth, I guess. And it's a very good nectar source. Once these open up, these will open up real wide and bloom really well. And you can see the butterfly in the background. And there's actually a honeybee working it already. Yep, right next to the moth. Doesn't even care. So it's a very good nectar source, but you don't want it in your pasture. Now over here, now the difference between white Dutch clover and the purple clover is the bees can work the white Dutch clover, but this purple here, the stems are too long for the bee's tongue to get down into, so they won't work this unless they really are out of a food source. They really don't like to use that. Let's see what else we got over here. Now, this has been a strange year. We're late into July, and it's still raining quite a bit. Usually in East Tennessee we have our dearth right now. It usually starts about the second week of June, lasts for about 4 to 6 weeks. We haven't had a dearth really. We have a slowing of the nectar and pollen, but we really haven't dropped off like usually. There's nothing out there for them to really get to, and usually ironweed doesn't come in this early. Now, usually ironweed only gets about 5-6 feet tall. This stuff here, I can reach 8 feet, and it's above my hand. It's probably about 9.5 feet tall. I like the ironweed just because of the way it looks. Again, the bees work it really well. I pulled some stems off here. I don't know how well you can see that purple, but it's a nice rich purple, and this is just starting to bloom. There's a bunch of ironweed here, and it really hasn't bloomed yet. Let me catch that. There we go. It really hasn't really started to go into full bloom yet, but it's getting there. It gets a nice purple. Bees work it. I haven't seen any goldenrod yet, but it's really early for that. I thought it'd be early for the ironweed, but it's out. It's starting to bloom, so it's kind of good for the bees and kind of bad for the bees. Good for the bees is they have a constant food source, pollen source, and sorry, I'm out of shape. Ever since I hurt my back, I'm really out of shape. So I'm breathing hard just walking downhill. So it's a good pollen source, a good nectar source to have, you know, all year long. But usually this time of year they have that kind of a cycle break where the queen really stops laying. She really slows down production, and there's a natural cycle break or brood break, and the varroa mites will decrease quite a bit in your hives naturally. Now, something that the bees, I haven't really seen them work, but I haven't been paying attention to, but this is a good I saw something run off, so didn't want to step on it. This here is a jewelweed. This is almost done blooming. There's a few pollinators on it, but this is really good. If you take it and you got poison ivy, just crumple it up and get that juice from the stem. Like I said, this one's almost done. There's hardly any juice left, but if you crumple it up and you see that wetness on there, that will take the itch out of poison ivy so quick, it's amazing. It'll dry up your poison ivy very quickly. We usually take a bunch of this, throw it in a pot of water, boil it until it turns nasty brown looking, and then you can use it like all year round. So in case you're getting firewood and you get poison ivy off of it, It's getting nice and wet now. You can use it in the winter when you get poison ivy off your firewood. Excuse me. And it'll dry up your poison ivy a lot better than that ivy soap and all the other stuff and the, you know, the shots you get from the doctor. It's natural. It's free if you can find it. It's usually near, like here, there's a little bit of a wet weather creek going down through here. It really likes that wet soil. Alrighty, well, I think that's about all I got for you right now. Appreciate you watching, and see you next time.